Okay, so, when you look at those pyramids at Giza, it's like, wow, majestic, right? Like, we get it, ancient Egypt was incredible.
Yeah.
But what if?
Yeah.
What if there's a whole other level to this? Like, what if we've only scratched the surface? Literally.
Yeah, and I think that's the hook that's really grabbing people's attention with this Khafre Project.
Right, the Khafre Project.
Because it's not just about what's out in the open. It's about what's hidden underneath. And potentially, I mean, we're talking about structures, chambers, who knows what,
Yeah.
deep under the Giza Plateau.
A whole hidden world, basically. And what's exciting to me is how they're going about this. I mean, we're not talking Indiana Jones here, swinging in with a bullwhip and
No.
digging up
Dynamite.
dynamite. Yeah, exactly. It's all about using cutting-edge technology, but doing it in a way that's completely non-invasive.
Right. So they're utilizing publicly available data. This is key. It's not like they're going in and getting special access. This is stuff that's out there from what's called SAR synthetic aperture radar. And that's coming from these satellites up in space, companies like Capella Space and Umbra.
So they're using these satellites to basically see through the ground without
Yeah.
actually disturbing anything.
Yeah, it's pretty wild when you think about it.
It is. And, this whole thing, it's not coming out of nowhere. There was some really interesting research done, I think it was back in 2022, on the Great Pyramid, the Pyramid of Khufu,
Right.
by these researchers, Filippo, Biondi, and Corrado, Malanga. And their findings about internal structures in Khufu, it's like that was the spark that ignited this whole new wave of investigation. Now they're turning their attention to Khafre.
Well, and I think that's what's so cool about science and research, right? Is like this one discovery can lead to all these other questions, and it sort of opens the door for...
Like the domino effect.
Exactly, domino effect.
Yeah.
And so Biondi and Malanga, they kind of said, hey, there's something interesting going on inside Khufu. And now the Khafre Project is taking that and saying, well, hold on. What if Khafre has similar secrets?
Right, because you would think, oh, each pyramid is its own thing, its own separate tomb, separate structure, but maybe not.
Maybe not at all. And that's what's so exciting, because the initial analysis of this radar data on Khafre, it's indicating something pretty remarkable. It looks like there could be internal structures that are very similar to what they found in Khufu.
Whoa, so it's like these pyramids are whispering secrets to each other across the centuries.
And those secrets could rewrite the books on ancient Egyptian architecture. They're even talking about the potential presence of what they're calling 5 Zs,
5
connected by these geometric pathways. And these Zs, they seem to be located above this chamber called Belzoni's chamber within Khafre.
Okay, remind me, what's Belzoni's chamber?
It was discovered back in the 1800s by this explorer, Giovanni Belzoni. It's up high inside the pyramid. Not really sure what its purpose was.
Gotcha. So these 5 Zs, are they like rooms or...
We don't know yet. The abstract is pretty vague.
Yeah.
But what they do say is that it's a very similar arrangement to the Z structure that was found in Khufu.
Yeah.
So immediately you start to think, okay, maybe there was some kind of standardized architectural blueprint that they were using.
A blueprint for secrets? But hold on, we need to talk about how they're actually getting this information. Because they're not just running radar data through some off-the-shelf software, right? This is where Filippo Biondi really comes in, and he's created this truly mind-blowing piece of technology.
This is where it gets a little sci-fi, but in the best way.
Right. So he's developed this software that transforms the electromagnetic signals, the echoes from the radar, into what they're calling phonic information.
Yeah, think about it like this. You know how when you tap on different materials, they make different sounds, right? Wood sounds different from metal. Metal sounds different from glass.
Right.
And that's because they vibrate at different frequencies. Well, this software, it's basically listening to the electromagnetic echoes coming back from beneath the ground, and it's translating those frequencies into sound. It's like giving the earth a voice.
Whoa. And this is allowing them to hear things that would normally be invisible to us, right?
Exactly. It's revealing subtle variations in density and structure that you wouldn't be able to detect with traditional methods.
And what are they hearing? Are they hearing 5 Zs? Are they hearing, like, I don't know, burial chambers?
They're hearing something much bigger than that, something that just might blow the whole thing wide open.
Oh, lay it on me.
They're hearing evidence of massive underground structures that seem to stretch across the entire Giza Plateau.
No way. Like, how massive are we talking?
Massive. We're talking about structures that go down approximately 2 kilometers.
2 kilometers. That's like deeper than most mines.
Yeah, it's incredibly deep. And they're not just describing these as like random cave formations or anything like that. They're saying these have complex geometries, very precise arrangements.
And that's under all three pyramids, Khafre, Khufu, and Menkaure. That's what the data seems to indicate. It's suggesting that there's this whole network of structures, this hidden world beneath the Giza Plateau that we never even knew existed.
It makes you wonder, right? Like, what if the pyramids themselves are just the tip of the iceberg? What if the real story of Giza is buried deep underground?
I think that's a very real possibility. I mean, for years, there have been these theories about hidden chambers, lost knowledge, even a potential connection to Atlantis.
Right, Atlantis.
Yeah.
So are we talking like secret libraries, ancient technology?
It's hard to say at this point, but the fact that they're describing these underground structures as non-natural is a huge clue. It means that someone built them.
Right, it wasn't just some random geological formation.
Exactly. And when you combine that with the sheer scale of this underground complex, you have to start asking yourself, who had the capability to do this, and how long ago?
Right, and what were they doing down there?
This is where we start getting into the really intriguing stuff. Because within this vast underground complex, they found something even more peculiar. They found these 8 cylindrical structures.
8 cylindrical structures, like 8 separate...
Yeah, 8 separate structures arranged in 2 parallel rows running north to south. And get this, they're described as vertical wells, hollow inside, surrounded by these descending spiral pathways.
Whoa, hold on. Vertical wells with the spiral pathways. That sounds like something out of an ancient myth or something.
I know, it's incredibly evocative imagery. And the fact that they're so deep, I mean, these things go down 648 meters, that's over 2,100 feet. And at that depth, they're set to merge into these 2 massive cubic structures, each one about 80 meters per side.
So you're telling me there are these 8 wells, all with spiral staircases spiraling down hundreds of feet, and then at the bottom, boom, they all meet up at these 2 giant cubes.
That's what it sounds like. It's almost like some kind of ancient subterranean city.
This is wild. But, okay, let's play devil's advocate for a second. Couldn't these structures just be natural formations? I mean, nature can create some pretty amazing things.
It's true. Nature can be pretty mind-blowing. But the researchers are very clear in the abstracts. They're saying these structures have complex geometries and they appear non-natural. And the fact that they found 8 of these cylindrical structures all arranged in this very specific pattern, that's not something you typically see in nature. It points to intentionality, to deliberate design.
So we're back to the question of who built them and why, and with what kind of technology.
Exactly. And that's where I think it's important to keep an open mind. We might need to consider possibilities that go beyond our current understanding of ancient history.
Right. Because if they were able to build something on this scale, underground, with such precision, it kind of rewrites our understanding of what ancient civilizations were capable of.
It really does. I mean, think about it. We're talking about moving millions of tons of rock, excavating these vast spaces, and then creating these incredibly intricate structures. And they did all of this without the kind of technology that we have today.
It's mind-boggling, and it's all thanks to this new technology, this SAR data and Filippo Biondi's incredible software, that we're even able to glimpse into this hidden world.
Exactly. And I think what's really exciting is that this is just the beginning. The abstract mentions the possibility of future excavation efforts to directly verify the artificial nature of these structures.
So they might actually go down there and dig.
It's definitely on the table.
Yeah.
Of course, it would be a massive undertaking. But the potential payoff in terms of knowledge, in terms of understanding our past, it's huge.
So everyone listening, mark your calendars for March 16th, 2025. That's when the press conference is happening. And we can expect a lot more details to be revealed then. This is definitely a story to watch closely. But, okay, I have to ask, what are your thoughts on what the purpose of these structures might be?
Well, there's no shortage of theories out there. Some people think they could be elaborate tombs. Others believe they might have been used for some kind of ancient rituals. But one of the most fascinating ideas I've come across is the possibility that these underground structures could have been ancient power stations.
Power stations, like ancient Egyptians harnessing electricity.
Well, maybe not electricity in the way that we understand it today, but there's a growing body of evidence suggesting that ancient civilizations may have had a much deeper understanding of energy and how to harness it than we give them credit for.
So what kind of energy are we talking about here?
Well, one possibility is telluric energy. It refers to the natural electrical currents that flow within the Earth. You see, the Earth itself is like a giant battery, with these currents constantly circulating. And there's evidence that ancient cultures may have figured out how to tap into those currents.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're saying that the ancient Egyptians may have built these underground structures to somehow harness the Earth's natural energy.
It's a possibility. Now, I know it sounds a little out there, but when you consider the fact that these structures are so deep and that they're made of materials like granite and limestone, which are known to have piezoelectric properties.
Piezoelectric properties, remind me what that is again.
Sure. Piezoelectricity is the ability of certain materials to generate an electric charge in response to mechanical stress or vibration. So if you were to, say, squeeze or vibrate a piece of quartz crystal, it would generate a small electric current.
Okay, I'm following. So how does this relate to the pyramids and these underground structures?
Well, imagine if the ancient Egyptians had figured out how to use the natural vibrations of the earth, or even the flow of underground water, to create mechanical stress on these piezoelectric materials. They could have potentially generated a significant amount of energy.
Wow. And those cylindrical structures with their spiral pathways, those wouldn't just be random architectural flourishes, right?
Exactly. Some theorists believe that those shapes could have been specifically designed to amplify telluric energy. Think of it like a giant resonating chamber.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. So if they were generating all this energy, what were they using it for?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Sure.
Some people speculate that they might have used it for lighting, for powering their tools and machines. Others believe it might have had a more spiritual or ritualistic purpose.
So we're talking about a level of technological sophistication that we never even imagined possible for an ancient civilization.
Precisely. And it's not just the Egyptians. There are other ancient sites around the world that exhibit similar features. Well, there's Teotihuacan in Mexico, for example. There's evidence that they used mica, a mineral that can conduct electricity, in their constructions. And then there's Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. This is a site that's even older than the pyramids. And some researchers believe that the massive stone pillars there could have been used to conduct energy.
So are you suggesting that there might have been a global network of ancient power stations?
It's definitely a possibility worth considering. And if it's true, it would completely change our understanding of the past.
It would rewrite history as we know it. It would mean that ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we ever thought possible.
And it would mean that we still have a lot to learn from them.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the hidden world beneath the Giza Plateau, let's recap those key aha moments. We talked about the internal structures in Khafre, mimicking those in Khufu, hinting at a shared design philosophy.
Right.
Then we went deep, literally, into this massive underground complex 2 kilometers down with complex geometries that just scream artificial.
And don't forget about 8 cylindrical structures with their spiral pathways leading down to those massive cubic structures. It's like something out of science fiction, but it's real. Or at least the data strongly suggests it's real.
Right, and that's the important caveat here. This is all based on preliminary findings. We need more research, more data, and those potential excavations to really confirm what's going on there.
Absolutely. But even at this early stage, it's clear that we're dealing with something truly extraordinary.
It's a potential game changer, a paradigm shift in how we view ancient civilizations.
If these findings hold up, it means that we've underestimated our ancestors. It means that they were capable of things that we're only now beginning to rediscover.
And that leads us to our final thought for everyone listening today. If such advanced knowledge and technology existed thousands of years ago, what else might we be missing? What other secrets are buried beneath our feet, waiting to be uncovered? What other chapters of history are waiting to be rewritten?
It's an exciting time to be alive. Who knows what incredible discoveries await us in the years to come?
I guess we'll just have to keep digging, both literally and figuratively. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.